right, everyone. So I want to begin talking to you with a question. Okay, so I'm going to say a word and I want you to tell me what comes into your head initially when I say that word, okay? So, change. What do you think of when I say change? Just throw out some ideas.
Initiative.
Initiative.
Fear.
Fear.
Progress.
Progress. Okay?
Intentionality.
Intentionality. All right, then give me one more.
Improvement.
Improvement. Okay. This is change.
Birthday.
Thank you. Alright, cool. Fear is particularly interesting to me. Is change something that you want?
I think it's something that we want, but it can be hard to break like a habit because usually, I don't know, I feel like sometimes you do like the same thing over and over again, and then when something changes, you're out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Okay, totally. I want to focus on this word here, initiative. And I want to tell you a story about a time in my life. It's something little, but where a change kind of took place through someone else's initiative. So, I got the opportunity last year to travel to Australia and live for 6 months. It was awesome. I was integrated into a brand new community of people that I'd never met before, and it was just like, for a school, it was a really cool opportunity just to meet new people. And while I was there, I met this girl named Bryn, and she became my super fast friend. Like, we connected very easily. It was really awesome. And we lived together in the same house, and this house is located right across the street from a massive shopping mall where there was a grocery store. So that's where we would do all of our grocery shopping. It was honestly not even a 5-minute walk to cross the street and get into the mall. It was so close. So we would always just walk over there and get our groceries. And so the two of us would often go together. We were such good friends. We'd go all the time to go grocery shopping together. And the more and more times we would go, I noticed that Bryn did something super interesting at checkout. She never once put her groceries into a grocery bag. She would scan it. There was self-checkouts, so you would scan it, and you know how it makes you put it in the bagging area. She would never put it inside the bag. She would just set it on the bagging area. And then at the end of it, she would pay, and she would just like load up all of her groceries in her arms and start walking home. And I'm going, Bryn, it's so much easier. Just put it in a bag. She's like, no. She's like, if I don't use a bag, I'm saving the environment. Okay, for me, this like was like, I was like, you're not saving the environment. It's one bag. But the more and more that she would do it, I mean, she was so convinced. She had this in her head. She had such a passion to make a change that she did simply in her own life by doing something small. But she believed that that little thing would make a domino effect, that it would make a change in the grand scheme of saving the environment, right? She took initiative. And her initiative, for me, sparked something in me. And by the end of the time, I mean, we spent 6 months together, and I used a plastic bag for the first good amount. I put my groceries in a plastic bag. I was not holding all of that in my arms. It was way more complicated. But by the end of it, the more she did it, the more I realized, maybe I could actually do this. It's not hard. You know, it's not hard to make that change. I'm not buying loads of groceries. So by the end of it, honestly, she had me convinced too. So after seeing her desire to make this change, I was prompted to kind of look into the research myself. I have a staggering statistic for you. According to CBS News, 220,000 pounds of dead fish were scooped up in China in 2013 due to staggering pollution. That is one story of this destruction that's happening from the pollution, the amount of trash being poured into oceans. I want to show you this website that gives, might be difficult to see, but that gives current statistics of the amount of tons of waste being dumped into oceans. If you see that number, it is continually rising. I mean, it's continually growing. I mean, we're sitting here and it's honestly probably grown about 200 just by the time that I pulled this website up. And that's tons. That's not 200 pieces of trash. That's 200 tons of trash just since we've been sitting right here. There's more statistics down here that show, the amount of aluminum cans recycled versus the amount of aluminum cans consumed. If you can see, this number is so much bigger than this number, and is growing so much faster than this number. Why is that? You know, how hard is it to, after you finish drinking your soda, to put it in the recycling bin rather than the trash can? If one person does that, recycles their can rather than put it in the trash, all of a sudden this number starts growing faster, and this one is the same number, but pretty soon they're gonna start to become closer in number. That's what we're looking for, you know? It takes one more person, then another person, another person. It's a domino effect. The reality of it is, I was completely blind to this. I had no idea of the destruction that I was having, or the negative impact that I was having. I didn't grow up, my parents didn't tell me about it growing up. I didn't know, the difference. But when Bryn didn't put her groceries in a plastic bag, all of a sudden I was prompted. Oh man, she's making a change, I can make a change. Looking back, I can definitely remember times where I've taken excessively long showers, where I never recycled growing up. I was completely unaware of the amount of trash that I was going through and all this stuff. And as she prompted me, the more I began to think about it. So I want you to just take a minute and think about the areas in your own life where you maybe could make a change, something small. Okay? Now that you have been prompted, this is my prompting to you. I want to equip you with some tools to actually partner with me in making this change, the way that I partner with Bryn. So, how can you make a change? Start small. That is the biggest thing. Start small. It doesn't have to be some massive, you're recycling 8,000 cans a year, you are, partnering with a massive organization. It's starting small, doing small things. Take a shorter shower. Buy a recycling bin, Instead of throwing your cans in the trash can. I know for me, my recycling bin is out in the garage, and my trash can's in the kitchen. It is much easier to finish a Coke and throw it in the trash can than it is to walk outside in the garage and put it in the recycling bin. Take the few extra steps. Start small. That can be your change today. To make an impact, to make a change. Maybe buy a reusable grocery bag, $2, but then instead of having to carry it like Bryn did, you can put it in a reusable grocery bag. Something mesh, something that's not plastic and just gonna be thrown in the trash the moment you get home. Or even use paper bags. Still not the greatest option, but you can recycle paper bags. You can't recycle these plastic bags. Buy reusable straws. These are just some options that you have to start small in your own place, in your own lives. Another option, partner with an organization. There's World Wildlife Fund, Friends of the Earth, then there's even organizations like 4Ocean, which is out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. And what they do is they send teams and they go scuba diving for a bunch of trash in the ocean, and then they take that up and they make them into bracelets, and then they sell the bracelets, and they give all the proceeds to the environment, to helping the environment. They partner with other organizations. Buy a bracelet, simple as that, Find opportunities like that where, this money or these organizations are partnering, in a bigger scheme to make an impact, to make a change. But by simply buying a bracelet, you can be a part of that. But whatever you do, I challenge you not to be discouraged. Don't go weary in doing the small things. Recycle your cans and believe that can make a difference, right? We saw that number. Think of that when you're recycling something, okay? The amount of cans being gone through versus the amount of cans being recycled is incredible, but I can make a change by throwing this into the recycling bin rather than. So don't be discouraged, because you really can make a change. For me, it took a prompting. Bryn was my prompting. Now, here I am standing in front of you. I'm doing the same thing. I'm prompting you. I'm giving you this information. So I really do encourage you. And now that you have the tools, make a small change in your life. Think of ways that you can improve. Maybe you're already doing all the things that I've mentioned. Take one step further. What can that be? And then don't grow weary. Don't be discouraged, because together we can make a change. Thanks for listening, guys. Have a great day.
Honestly, that one was the longest, but it felt the shortest.